Hello, this is Sammy with Everything Electrical here on YouTube. Today I want to make a video going over a custom bucket that I built to assist on any job site. The bucket is all wired up. It has a stereo in it. You can play music out of it. It has different outlets throughout it for plugging in different stuff. And I'll start by telling the story of why I built this. It's about 3 years old, and at the time I was looking for a radio to have on the job, something where we could play some music and just make the day a little bit better. And I was really looking hard at buying I had a set of DeWalt cordless power tools at the time, and I was really looking hard at buying a stereo slash battery charger. Basically, it's a stereo with a built-in battery charger for the DeWalt drills. And they were at Home Depot. They were like $150 at the time, and I was looking real hard at buying one. And one day after work, I was out on my back porch with my buddy Josh, and I was telling him, man, I really think I'm gonna go buy this radio. And I think it was his idea. He came up with it. He said, well, why don't we just put some computer speakers in a bucket? And I kind of looked at him and I said, man, that's a good idea. So that day we built a prototype, and just that, took a regular Home Depot bucket, ran an extension cord out of it, hooked up some speakers, computer speakers, and that was the start. Since then, or since that first build, this is 3 builds later, and yeah, it's pretty neat. You can see that it's sitting on wheels, so if it needs to move, it quickly moves. It feels pretty good. And what I did there is just took the bottom of the task bench and cut it off with my Sawzall and attached it to the bottom of the bucket with toggle bolts. So that's pretty neat. Works good. On the outside here, I have an extra cord for plugging in anything that you want. Like if you're on a job and you want to plug in a skill saw or a light or whatever, this cord just wraps around the bucket. If you can see, there's hooks on there. It just wraps around and unwraps. That's an extra cord just for plugging in whatever you want. And I'll show you here on the bucket. You can see on the bottom that it's just tied in there with the Romex connector. Also have a quad outlet on the outside, plugging in your cordless battery chargers or anything that you want. Quad plug there. I have this wrap on the outside that's just made for holding anything and everything. Usually it's just like knick-knack stuff that, you know, I don't have a place. It's kind of a place to have it. Keep a Sharpie in there, Sharpies. So extra flathead screwdriver there. Just some pins, knife, some more knives. I don't use this as much as I used to on the job sites. It actually, most of the time, it just sits in my apartment, and I use it as a radio. But having it on a job versus not having it definitely makes the day twice as good. And on the top here, I have a shelf that I cut out of plywood, and on top of that, I have a Zune HD MP3 player, and it's also a FM stereo. Oh man, not a good song for the video. Change it. These are just computer speakers that I got at Walmart. I'll show you in a minute. That's max sound. It gets pretty loud enough. not my favorite song in the whole world, but I just happened to be what was on the radio at the time. Just want to show you guys how it plays. So that's a Microsoft Zune HD. Pretty cool. I've had this for just a little less longer than I've had the Bucket, like maybe 2.5 years, and the whole time it's done a good job for me. I'd recommend anyone looking for an MP3 player, Zune HD. It's a good bet. Cool. So there I have the top shelf, and we're going to take this off here, and I'll show you the guts. So what I did here is I took a 12 gauge extension cord, which you can see here, and I ran it into a handy box there, and then out of that handy box I came over to a 1900 electrical box, and I mounted plugs in there with a raised industrial cover and another plug there. You can see I didn't do a real good job on that, but it works and it's safe. So that's the box for the quads on the outside that you saw. Like I said, this thing's old. It's probably about 3 years. Time to come in here and tighten some stuff up that needs to be tightened. Oh, and here's the speakers. These are just computer speakers. I picked them up at Walmart for like 20 bucks. And they're about as old as the Bucket, 3 years. Haven't had any problems. Work every time. So yeah, you can plug any type of like charger in there, like for a mini USB for cell phones, or yeah, mainly just cell phones, or any device that has a cord. You can plug it in here, bring it up to that top shelf, and set your device on the shelf, and it could charge. You can charge from the power below. So it's a pretty cool thing. It can do a lot of things, especially if utilized properly. Every job that I've been on, people comment on it, and I had one guy telling me I should put it on a blog for people to see. So that was a while back, but today we're putting it on YouTube, and I hope that by doing that, it gives someone maybe the inspiration to do something cool for themselves. Alright, that concludes. If you found this interesting and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. And I'll be making more videos in the future. Thanks for watching.